Hollywood has long been a place where glitz and glamour intersect with tragedy, but few stories capture that eerie intersection quite like the tale of Rebel Without a Cause. Released in 1955, the film was a cultural phenomenon, a powerful, groundbreaking portrayal of teenage rebellion, loneliness, and identity. But over the decades, it's become infamous for something else entirely: the mysterious and tragic fates of its three young stars. Many have come to believe the film was cursed. It all starts with James Dean. At just 24 years old, Dean had already made a name for himself with roles in East of Eden. He became the face of youthful defiance, brooding, mysterious, and electric on screen. But he wouldn't live to see the movie's success. On September 30th, 1955, just weeks before the film's release, Dean was driving his Porsche when he collided with another car on a California highway. The crash was fatal. What makes his death even more unsettling is what happened days before. Actor Alec Guinness, after seeing the car, warned Dean it looked sinister, even predicting that Dean would die in it within a week. Dean shrugged it off. 7 days later, he was dead. The car itself became a thing of legend, rumored to bring misfortune wherever it went, but that was only the beginning. Then there's Natalie Wood. Known for her poise, talent, and early start in Hollywood, Wood had already been acting for years by the time she played Judy in Rebel Without a Cause. Her chemistry with Dean was undeniable, and the performance marked a turning point in her career. But her life, like Dean's, ended far too soon, and under deeply suspicious circumstances. In 1981, she went on a weekend boat trip with her husband, Robert Wagner, and actor Christopher Walken. They anchored near California's Catalina Island, and at some point during the night, Wood went missing. Hours later, her body was found floating in the water. She was just 43. The official report listed the cause of death as accidental drowning, but there were signs suggested otherwise. Bruises on her body, the odd timeline, and inconsistent stories between Wagner and others on board quickly turned her death into one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries. Years later, the investigation was reopened, and Wagner was named a person of interest, though no charges were ever filed. The questions surrounding her final hours remain unanswered. And then there's Sal Mineo. His performance as Plato, the sensitive, troubled teen who idolizes Dean's character, earned him an Oscar nomination and instant stardom. He broke ground by portraying one of the first overtly gay characters in mainstream film, and for a while it looked like he was on a path to greatness. But Mineo's career slowed in the late 60s. He began taking stage roles, working in television, and rebuilding his image. On February 12, 1976, after returning home from a play rehearsal in Los Angeles, he was attacked in the alley behind his apartment and stabbed to death. He was only 37. At first, there was no clear motive, no robbery, nothing stolen, just a senseless, brutal murder. Later, a man named Lionel Ray Williams was arrested and convicted. He claimed he didn't even know who Sal Mineo was. That randomness, that complete lack of connection, made the tragedy feel all the more eerie. 3 stars, all gone young, all under strange, tragic, and unsettling circumstances. Over the years, people began to whisper about a curse. Was it a coincidence? Or was there something deeper, something darker, tied to the legacy of the film? Of course, not everyone involved in the production met a tragic fate. Dennis Hopper lived into his late 70s. Other cast and crew went on to lead full, successful lives, but the fact that the 3 brightest stars of the movie, Dean, Wood, and Mineo, all died in bizarre, premature ways. What's all fascinating is how these deaths almost mirror the themes of the movie itself: isolation, misunderstanding, and loss. It's as if the emotional turmoil depicted on screen somehow bled into real life. That's part of what made Rebel Without a Cause so legendary. Not just the film, but everything that happened after. Despite the tragedies, or maybe in part because of them, the film had remained a cultural touchstone for nearly 70 years. It captured the raw, aching spirit of a generation, and in the end, it came to represent the very fragility of the young lives it portrayed. Whether or not you believe in the idea of a curse, one thing is certain: the stories behind this film were just as haunting as the ones it told on screen. And sometimes, real life can be even stranger and sadder than fiction. Like, comment, and subscribe for daily culture content.